What is up, ladies and gents? My name is Malcolm, also known as Baytuh, and I am back with another Elden Ring build video. And this time around, I am showing off my Holy Death Reaper build, which is a high faith and strength build. So yeah, let's get jiggy with it. Before I continue with this build video, ladies and gents, I would like to talk about some of the pros and cons of this build. And just like any build in Elden Ring, there's positives and negatives. And I would say for the Holy Death Reaper build, the positives greatly outweigh the negatives, but some of the negatives are pretty significant and may be a turnoff for you. We'll see. Con number one is that this is a very dodgeable build, meaning you can easily dodge out of the way. That's why this build is not suited well for a PvP unless you're with a buddy and you double team someone. That's probably the best way you could get someone with this build. But other than that, if someone is like really good at dodging, with which a lot of players I've battled against in Elden Ring are really good at dodging, they can easily dodge out of the way, or they're using the actual War Bloodhound step, which I think is really bullshit. How much they freaking dodge out of the way. But yeah, this is a very avoidable type build for PvP. So yeah, not that good in that game type. In the second con, I would say, in the last but not least second con for this build is that this is a stationary build, meaning that you are standing still, defenseless, not being able to dodge until you use the skills on this build. Meaning when you use the Blade of Death to initiate the fight against a big enemy or a boss, you're up in the air, not being able to move for like a good few seconds until you drop down. You could dodge out of the way. If they close the distance on you, they're gonna hit you. If they're a heavy enemy, they can easily stagger you down and slap you down, and you're prone on the ground until you dodge out of the way. And of course, when you use Miquella's Ring of Light, you're standing still, like using the skill a few times, spamming that skill, and you won't be able to move. So those are the biggest cons I would say for this build. But in terms of the positives, the biggest positives are that you do massive, probably not as much of that as that bubble of skill, which is really OP in my personal opinion. But you do a huge amount of holy damage with this build. Plus, you pair it with the buffs I talked about and the Blade of Death to significantly reduce your enemy's HP. Yeah, this build is nasty good. Alrighty, ladies and gents, let's take a quick look at some of the weapons, armors, talismans, and wondrous flash physiques that you're going to be using for this build. And first up, for the weapons of choice that you're going to be using is the Halo Scythe, mainly because of Miquella's Ring of Light. This skill on this weapon shoots powerful rings of holy light at your enemies, doing a lot of holy damage, which is your main sort of attack you're going to be using for this build for a lot of the big enemies and bosses. The second item on this list is going to be the Erdtree Seal. I got mine at +9, mainly because we're going to be using the Golden Vow incantation to boost your attack power and defenses, which is also going to boost your holy attack damage. I chose the Erdtree Seal because it scales really well with Faith. I think that's the best seal out there that scales with Faith, but you don't have to use this seal. You can use any other seal that scales pretty decently to well with Faith. Or on the flip side, you could use the Ash of War Golden Vow and slot that on a short sword, or a dagger of your choice, but I decided to go with the Erdtree Seal on this one. The main second weapon you're going to be using on this list, it's going to be the Black Knife. I got mine at +9, and mainly because of the skill on it, Blade of Death, which is going to greatly reduce your enemy's maximum HP, which is going to come in really handy and definitely fits the theme that we're going for. For a little bonus, you can use the Commander Standard, mainly because the skill Rattling Standard, which is going to boost your attack power and defenses, which is also going to boost your holy damage that we're going to be dishing out, which is going to be really cool. But again, you don't have to do that. This is a bonus one mainly. Moving over to some of the armor you're going to be using. This is mainly up to all of you. I decided to go with the Royal Remains armor set because it fits the theme that we're going for as a Holy Death Reaper, which is really cool. But again, really doesn't matter. It's up to you. But again, I'm just going for it. I use this this armor set because it fits the aesthetic that we're going for. Moving over to some talismans. The first talisman is up to you. It really doesn't matter. I decided to go with Erdtree's Favorite +2 because it raises my maximum HP, stamina, and equip load, so I don't die easily, of course. And we're going to be using that skill light, which takes FP and stamina. But these next three are pretty important. Shard of Alexander, which greatly boosts your attack power or skill, which of course is going to boost that skill power with the Holy Damage and Blade of Death. Ritual Sword Talisman, which raises attack power when HP is at maximum, which of course is going to boost your holy damage with Miko's Ring of Light and Blade of Death. And last but not least is the Sacred Scorpion Charm Laser Jets, which raises holy attack but lowers damage negation. Again, it's going to boost all of those holy attack damage that you're going to be dishing out to your enemies. With all of that, and if you want to use Commander Standard for that bonus, you're going to be doing wonders with this build. And moving over to some of the flags of Wondrous Physick that you're going to be using. The main thing you're going to use for this flask is the Holy Shrouding Crack tier, which temporarily boosts your holy attacks. Again, use all this combined, all these buffs, it's going to dish out a lot of damage. It's going to be pretty darn good. Alrighty, ladies and gents, let's move over to some stats that you're going to be using for this build. Since this is a very heavy faith build, you're going to want to pump faith a lot. I would say, depending on your level, if you're in like the 100s to like, let's say 150s to like 160s to 70s, you're going to want to pump faith to at least like, what's the hard cap? Probably in the 60s, 70s. I would say like in the 60s to like low 70 range is pretty good. You're going to want to meet the minimum requirements for the scythe and the dagger, the black knife and the halo scythe you're going to be using, which is not too much. I would say put in like 20 strength, and I think it's like, what is it, 18, 19 dexterity. Since this is going to take not a lot of mine, but you're going to be spamming the skills for Miko's Ring of Light of the halo on the halo scythe a fair amount. I say getting your mind up to I would say the mid to high 20s to possibly even low 30s, because you're going to be spamming that a lot. And of course that you're going to want to boost your stamina up as well, because of course using FP also uses stamina as well. Then you're going to want to put the rest of the points into vigor, because you're going to be a little bit squishy, plus you're going to be stationary while you're using this build, so you don't want to die fairly easy. So yeah. Alrighty, ladies and gents, before I close out this Elden Ring build video of how they become the Holy Death Reaper of people's nightmares, I want to quickly talk about some gameplay tips you're going to be using against your everyday Joe Blow and Jane Doe enemies, some beefier enemies and bosses. And let's talk about your everyday enemies that you're going to be fighting in this game. It's quite simple. You want to initiate your attacks with your Halo Scythe. You can easily dispatch them depending on what level you ranked up your strength and dexterity, and your Halo Scythe. You can easily dispatch them with your Halo Scythe using some light attacks, heavy attacks, and of course dodge out of the way. Or if you want to easily simply like 1 to 2 to even 3 shot them, using Miko's Ring of Light from, I would say, fair distance and pick them off that way. When we move over to some shield enemies, I would say using Miko's Ring of Light, because sometimes those shields could reduce the enemy's HP, but using Miko's Ring of Light at least 2 to 3 times will easily get rid of them. When it comes to those bigger shield enemies, like in the Royal Capital, trolls, or the omens in the sewers, I would say initiate those attacks with those fights with the Blade of Death, or possibly I would say use the Golden Vow incantation, use that incantation, or use the Asher War on the dagger, switch to your Black Knife and use the Blade of Death, then easily take them down with Miko's Ring of Light on your Halo Scythe. Now moving on to bosses, this is the trickier part, a little bit the trickier part, ladies and gents, because like I said in the cons part of this build video, is that this is a very stationary build when you're using the Miquella's Ring of Light and the Black Death, because you're just standing there. You can easily get attacked with no defenses around you, not being able to dodge out of the way. So that's why I highly recommend using a Spirit Summon. I personally use the Mimic Tear plus the Mimic Tear Ash plus 10. I know they got nerfed in this patch in the, what was it, 2 patches ago, but they are really great for good distractions against bosses. So that's why I use them for. Before the fights, of course, you want to buff yourself out with the Golden Vow, Incantation, or the Ashen Ward you have on the dagger, or a short sword or something like that. Use that Wondrous Physick that has that holy crack tier on it that temporarily boosts your holy attack. Once you get into that boss room, use your Spirit Summon Ash, whether it's a Mimic Tier or Dogs or whatever you want. You want to initiate the attack with your Black Death, with the Black Knife Blade of Death skill on the Black Knife to reduce your the boss's HP. Then while your Spirit Summon has the boss distracted, pick them off and destroy them with Miquella's Ring of Light. Alrighty, ladies and gents, that just about does it for this Elden Ring build video on how to become the Holy Death Reaper. Thank you all for watching this, and thank you all for joining me for this build video. I think I have, I would say maybe 2 to 3 more build videos of Elden Ring. I have slate coming out in the next week and a half or so be on the lookout for all that good jazz. And of course, the main thing I do is gameplay walkthroughs on this channel. I will be getting back to some walkthroughs pretty soon in the next 2 weeks or so. So yeah, be on the lookout for all that goodness. So yeah, before I let you guys all go, if you guys can please leave a like on this video if you guys like what you saw. Please subscribe for more content. It helps up the channel a lot. Also, when you do subscribe, make sure you click that little bell next to the subscribe button so you can start receiving notifications when I post videos or go live in a live stream next time. And when you do hit that notification bell, ladies and gents, make sure you set those notifications to all so you don't miss out on any content I post to this channel, be a walkthrough, let's play, channel post update, or a live stream. Please share my channel and my videos to all your friends, families, cats and dogs, and who not. And you guys can all follow me on Twitter at Baytuh, Baytuh, if you want to keep supporting me even further than just subscribing to my YouTube channel, leaving a like, share my channel and my videos to all your friends and families. Please consider donating some of your extra monies you have lying around to my Patreon and or PayPal. That is patreon.com/Baytuh, Baytuh, and or paypal.me/Baytuh, Baytuh. You do not have to do either of those. That is 100% optional, but please note, ladies and gents, any and all donations are much appreciated. And with all that being said, ladies and gents, I will see you guys later.